Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly presents the race to the CME Globe from Greensboro, Georgia. It's final round coverage of the LPGA Drive-On Championship.
Live at the 11th, Alan McDonald for birdie.
Yeah, if that second shot, as you mentioned, had released about 6 more feet, got to the crest of that hill with any momentum, it literally would have had a chance of going in. This one, she's just going to hit like it's about a 6 or 7 foot putt, slightly uphill for 3 feet and then down the cliff.
Did she?
Oh, yes.
Wow, what a putt.
She's definitely making a claim for this championship.
Well, that's the key, is that putter for her. And she's playing with the intensity I've seen her have since she was a little girl. I mean, this is what she's dreamed about her whole life. This is what she's always wanted to be. And she mentioned in her presser, it's not who I am, it's what I do. But this has been a goal of hers for a long, long time. Let's take a look from above. Any doubt? Nope. Beautiful putt. Bianca will be next.
Yeah, when you're doing things like that, fellow competitors and nearest pursuers playing alongside, they start to feel like they have to make everything now. It's like every putt's a must make. It really puts the heat on them.
Did she? Oh, she's had so many good putts the last 2 days. Trying to stay patient. It's hard, Karen. It's almost like you're trying, like you said, trying so hard, and he just kind of.
Well, again, this is a learning process for her too. This is the first time that you've got a few holes left to play. She knows she's got to make up ground. It's like, what do you do? Do you keep playing your game? Do you push? How do you get through it?
Exactly. Area now at 13, going with iron off this tee.
This is her 2-iron, driving iron. And the trajectory that's on, it's something special. It's going to go for days when it hits the ground.
Yeah, there it goes. And that's on soft fairways. The location on the front portion of the green kind of stays up on the top of that crown. Danielle Kang now, another good chance for birdie.
Oh yeah, excellent chance. Just right center, right edge putt. Probably got a good teach from both of her fellow competitors.
I think the hardest thing is to try to make the putt. You tend to pull them when you try to force them in there. You're not as fluid with your stroke.
Well, and right in her eye line too. And Danielle tends to see and hear things that maybe other players don't at times in competition. There's a few of the pontoons that are making a slow wake-free exit to get to viewing position again at 14, 17, and 18.
There you go. Good solid stroke. Watch out. We're going to have some fun these last few holes. She's been a little bit more patient. Trying not to fight herself. Nice putt there. Fist bump. I'll head over to the par 5. Walking up that little bit of that slope.
The tee is back today. They moved it 1 tee box forward yesterday.
Not sure it made it any easier when they put it up there, Tom. There are a few players could have gotten home in 2 if they could hit the fairway, but the fairway's about 2 cart paths in width up there.
That's right. Narrows in, doesn't it?
Right here, you just feel like you have a big open ballpark. If you land it on the right side, it's going to be, I don't think you can hit it in the right rough too easily. There's so much slope.
Pictures, please.
Haven't heard that for a while. As we mentioned already, no fans officially on site here, but the residents and family members, guests are out there watching. The residents staying back outside of the property lines, but they can watch from there. And it's going to stay in the fairway because of the soft conditions. A lot of rain overnight. As we take a look at our aerial coverage, brought to you by Reynolds Lake Oconee. It came in after dinner yesterday whilst people were asleep. 0.2 inches of rain dumped on this property, so it was perfect timing. If you're going to have a big rainstorm, it was about as perfect a timing as you could get.
You were in bed quite early because it started about 9 o'clock.
I actually was. It's kind of sad for me to say that on a Saturday night. Danielle Kang.
No, it's not sad these times, so I think we all live with you there. Good tee shot from Danielle.
That's in good shape. Strict protocols for the players during tournament week. They're not allowed to eat outside of their accommodations or in a restaurant. And the players stick to the rules, as you can imagine. It is not like it used to be on tour, but one day it'll be back to normal.
Well, I think we all read that interesting article, Tom, that the most dangerous thing right now in professional sports isn't getting tackled by a linebacker. It's dinner.
Yeah, going out to dinner with your teammates and fellow players. Potentially getting sick and then not being able to compete. That's the worry for athletes and sportsmen and women throughout the globe at the moment. Ally McDonald trying to get it done for the first time on the LPGA Tour. Great birdie at 11. She leads by 3.
Back to the 13th area. Second shot here, Gail.
Jim, 127, 117 to the hole. She's got a 50-degree wedge. Looked like about a 3/4 swing.
You got to get it all the way up there, but can't go by about 5 steps because it goes down in the valley. Yep, good shot.
That's a great shot.
Absolutely. Off that downhill line. Another good chance for birdie.
Players are going to lay up here at the 12th. Looks like Ally McDonald will be the first one to go.
And I think the first day when this played, well, for a while, the hardest hole on the course ended up being the 4th hardest hole on the course. The reason was this is not the easiest layup. You have to hit a pretty precise shot, and you got to get a lot on it. She's some 320 yards to the hole. And you got a little sliver of a fairway up there, and it's pretty much blind where you're trying to land it to get you maybe a scoring club in a wedge. You can be more conservative than that, then you're playing an uphill blind 7/8 iron to a par 5, which is never any fun.
No, whole location today being on that front. There is a little backstop behind it, so a slightly longer shot into this hole today wouldn't be as bad as on the first day where the flag was all the way tucked left.
That's just about to the crest of the hill and should be wedge or maybe gap wedge in from there.
It's the same speed you're trying to hit it. There's the 12th hole. Great view there.
I mentioned the Lingalonga Invitational that was played here, the collegiate event. The Mercer women's team will host the Reynolds Lake Oconee Invitational on this golf course next year, so they'll have 2 collegiate events on Great Waters. Mercer is about an hour and 20 minutes from here in Macon, Georgia. It's a good part of the world for golf. We're not that far away from Augusta National. And Great Waters has been ranked as the 2nd best course in the state behind Augusta National. East Lake, of course, we mentioned that. It's less than an hour and a half's drive from here. Many lovely courses in the Atlanta area.
Well, and what a treat it is for the people that live around here, because you know you can't go and watch a tournament now. Even if they had got tickets to watch the Tour Championship at East Lake, they couldn't have got in to watch. Here they're getting to see Championship golf right on the side, right outside their doorstep. It's
or off their boat.
Or off their boat.
There you go.
Well, many of the folks here are lucky enough to go to the Masters, aren't they? And they will not be able to be on-site. Patrons this year not allowed at the Masters. This is the case for many events, and they can watch golf right in their back garden here. So we watch Bianca Pagdananen and her caddy. It's a good story, Jerry, with her caddy, isn't it?
It is. He's Evan Scholar, product of the Evan Scholar Foundation, and graduated. I took him to Ohio State, graduated with a bachelor's degree in professional golf management. Spent some time at Innisbrook and Toledo, where he's from, as well as Augusta National Caddy. And now he says he wants to give this a full-time go, at least on the bag he's currently on, because there's so much earnings potential there. That was from 150 and an 8-iron, and just absolutely flushed it.
I mean, quite a treat for your first ever LPGA bag to be with the longest player on tour.
And he also, I mean, I think he brings, and we were talking about it yesterday, he brings a lot to the game as well, because he doesn't have so much experience that he's going to try and change her. And that's what you were talking about earlier, being able to, you know, pave her own way. Danielle now 27 yards closer. Should be it is a pitching wedge. Tug that usually goes a little too far, not up to her standards by any means.
And Ally McDonald coming off that birdie at 11, birdie at 10.
114 should be a pretty full gap. Well, no, pitching wedge, a little pitching wedge is a signal. I like it.
Definitely going to like it. And a chance for 3 birdies in a row. She doesn't look nervous right now, does she? Doesn't look quite as relaxed as that dog there sitting on the boat. There are dogs everywhere here at Reynolds Plantation. Back at the 12th, Bianca Packananen for birdie.
From the upper tier down to the lower tier, going down at an angle, is going to swing it right. Just a defensive putt here. Pretty good looking speed.
Nice touch. Always the mistake to go long. Let's go to the tee at the 14th and Area Jutanagan.
And this hole playing 150 yards today. It's a 9-iron. It's on a great line.
Just over that bunker. And now a chance for birdie. Jutanagan back on 11 under, 5 behind. And we'll look down from above at the 12th. And Danielle Kang back down the hill here, Jerry.
Well, believe it or not, it's not really downhill. This whole green slopes in general from right to left. So initial couple feet will be downhill, then it's pretty level, maybe even slightly uphill. Asking Ally to move her mark, because it's basically directly between her and the hole, and there's not a lot of break in this.
I always used to love that if a player had to get me to move my mark, because that was like a signal for me to say, okay, you need to pay attention because this is going right over your line.
And you really hope they had a good putt.
So it's got to keep that putter moving down her line and not pull it into the left. See that? She needs to work that little kink out. There's just that little movement to the left that's hurting her right now.
Area for birdie.
The whole right-hand side of this green slopes to the right. So the ball should trickle down to the right.
Good try. Back over to the 12th, and Ally McDonald with another chance for birdie.
Well, and she snuck right in behind the coin when Danielle's ball rolled by, and saw that it wasn't moving right at the end. We give her, the way she's stroking it right now, a free read, and that's a little bit of a dangerous recipe.
This is been a fine performance. You've got to say, the way that she's played here on Sunday. There's no bogeys on the card right now. We're looking at 3 birdies in a row to get it to 17 under par on a 4-shot lead. And it is another birdie. Ally McDonald on her way to victory, potentially here for the first time at Reynolds Lake Oconee in Greensboro, Georgia. Has a 4-shot lead. The dog's relaxing on the pontoon boat here. It seems to be that every family that lives here has a dog.
It's a prerequisite.
It's incredible.
Dog, a boat, and a kayak.
I know the 2 out of the 3 that you would have.
Yes, I would definitely have 2 out of the 3.
Reynolds Lake Oconee.
Catherine Kirk now for birdie at 13. And a nice putt at the 11th. And a nice putt here. Catherine did 11 under, 2 under on her round today. Couple birdies on this 9. I'm playing pretty good since the Women's Open at Troon. Getting to the 13th. Remember yesterday, Ally McDonald had a 4-shot lead through 14 holes. Now she has a 4-shot lead through 12.
But I think, Jim, though, when you have an experience like that in the 3rd round, you can learn from that and take it into the final round. It's better that that happened then than in the 3rd round than here.
Yeah, I think she said that she... All right, we got away their conversation. But she said that. She said it was no indication of the way she played the last 3 or 4 holes. Because she had played solid all day and she wasn't going to get caught up in that. The thing she said when she took the lead, and I read her presser, she had to acknowledge it. She was into the lead and not to get too far ahead of herself. I think that's the key for her. But for Danielle, she's got to make it go. She said she was going to be more aggressive. Hasn't quite been that way on the greens.
Well, she's done exactly what she's trying to do now, just 6 weeks ago in Toledo. So this is not foreign territory to Danielle, and she can get things to happen quickly.
Yeah, that ball just stopped quickly. Didn't get any rolls. How wet this fairway is. Everything kind of funnels down from both sides, right and left. Bianca will be next.
3-wood.
Yep.
That's center of the fairway. Probably won't roll much.
Yeah, a little bit more than Danielle's. Actually hit a little bit firmer than most, but
That was way in the air. Danielle's was a low scream.
yeah,
Bad break.
absolutely. Now Ally with driver. 8 of 10 fairways, 45 of 52 for the week.
10-finger grip, you were telling me.
Yeah,
Joe.
10-finger grip. She's had that since she was a kid. And
I love it, love it, love it. And I don't know why everybody doesn't do it.
yeah, we talked about that yesterday. My wife actually switched to it, won her 12th state am. She broke her hand, so.
That one's going to miss fairway right, it looks like.
Yeah, that's a big kick. Oh. That's going to, depends on the lie. That's knuckling down, and it's hard to bounce the ball up. At the 13th, there's the 13th green. There's the final group back there in the fairway, except for Ally's out there in the right rough. She's got a 4-shot lead over Danielle Kang. I believe Danielle Kang will be first.
Total yardage will be 127, playing a little shorter.
Front portion of the green, just about 3 or 4 steps behind it, the green really goes away back into a valley, so you really have to be precise here.
Last hole pitch. 126.
She's got that look again.
She does. She's very dialed in. She's very focused. She knows what she's got to do. I mean, Ali, she's looking pretty cool, calm, and collected out there today. She's sticking to her game plan and looks really on top of things. So Danielle's going to have to really bring the heat to this golf course.
A little wedge, very gettable hole location today because of the softer greens. Earlier in the week, that would have been really tough to get to. Just pulled a little bit.
Good looking shot. All right, got a good chance for birdie. So she's got a chance for birdie. Ali's got a tricky shot out of the right rough. And on back to Ali there. It looked like it was sitting down just a little, Jerry.
It's sitting down a lot. It's at the very bottom of the sod, bottom of the grass.
Yeah, the problem is in front of the green's so soft, and there is a knoll in the middle, kind of like right towards the center of the green, so you can't. It's hard to bounce it up.
What's normal? Yeah. I think so. Okay.
Definitely some guesswork here. Gap wedge 114, ball sitting down. You're guessing how it's going to come out, if it's going to jump, if it's going to flutter, and then how it's going to be received just short of the green.
Short's the best play. Both sides have said this is where the drains fall off, so short's not horrible.
Oh, that just fluttered out of there.
I think typically you can rely on it being just a little bit softer coming out if the ball is above your feet, because you're going to hit more at the bottom of that grass, and therefore you're going to get more grass between the ball and the club, and with a lob wedge in your hand there's just not enough, there's too much loft for it to get any jump out of it.
Bianca will be next.
Yeah, just 96 yards looks like her most lofted wedge. Cut it a little steeply. Good line, needs to go.
Yeah, just caught up on the false front there, Tom.
I think a lot of people have great expectations for Bianca Pagdananan as that ball just settles off the green. But we talked to her yesterday about her expectations for this rookie year.
Coming in as a rookie, there's definitely a lot of pressure. You think like you have to do something crazy or great just to prove that you deserve to be there. But one thing I did realize was that you don't really have to try so hard. And the only reason you got here was because you played your game. So after I played in the KPMG and ended up in the top 10, I was like, I think this is an eye-opener, and you have to realize that you are a good enough player and that you deserve to be here.
Judy Rankin always gives them the same message. She says, don't forget, you were good enough to get here. The game that you have now was good enough to get you here. Never forget that. That was very interesting hearing from Bianca and her attitude.
There he is. Second shot here at 15. Such a hard location to get. That's going to be one of the best shots of the day. This is right in a little bit of a valley. Knobs on all over the place, but she's strong enough to get it to spin.
Very similar technique wedge-wise between Bianca and Aria.
A little bit of work to do. It's really soft down there, Jerry. That's the hard part with this shot.
Yeah, but if she makes proper contact, which is never a given when you got a tight lay and it's really soft underneath, she's able to do that. The rest of it's not tough at all. Green is very flat if she lands it near her spot. Practicing that rehearsal, get the club to slide under the ball without digging.
Short game instructor Tim Yelverson said focus on the shot, not the technical part of it, and a nice shot there. That looked a little more natural.
Check in with Mina Haragai. This for birdie at the 14th. Mina has never finished better than 5th on the LPGA Tour, and that was way back in 2013 in Taiwan. And the birdie there gets her to 12 under. She's tied for 3rd. So it could be a career best week for Mina Haragai.
Back to the 13th. It'd be kind of cool to have these boats every week. Just love the sounds of the excitement out there. We haven't had fans, but I feel like we've got quite a few out there. So Bianca will be next.
Again, very flat portion of the green, not a lot of break, not a difficult one to judge the speed. Just slightly uphill on that first foot or so.
And I think too, when you think about Bianca, during COVID, she really sort of kept herself at home in San Diego with her dad. They were very strict and waited until everything opened up properly before they actually did anything. And I think in many respects, that's what's, why she's had a bit of a slow start, getting off to where she is now in terms of her ball striking, because all of a sudden last week at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, she caught fire with hitting greens in regulation. And now here she is again contending.
Well, she talked about those expectations as a personal journey, and it's got to be your expectations, not what everybody else expects of you or from you. Now Danielle will be next.
This could be a big putt, and it's not a tough putt. It's so extremely flat. Maybe a little bit of movement to the right, but it's right in her range.
Just a couple players earlier, you're right, there's not much in this. Within 3
at minimum.
Yeah, start putting a little more pressure on Ally McDonald.
That's good.
Got it. Great stroke there. Released the putter head perfect there.
He was walking right after impact.
Well, if you remember yesterday, she made the putt at 15 for birdie when Ally had the 4-shot lead, and Ally had to make a putt similar length to save par. That's where Kang kind of made that little bit of a rally. Yeah, welcome back to paradise. It is paradise. We hope to be back.
Not a whole lot to it. She has been seeing the line well. She has been hitting the line well. Her speed's been fantastic. Good combination for making putts, but maybe just a little bit more pressure on this one now.
Yeah, she's worked a lot on keeping her body quiet, allowing the club to swing around her. That's what she and Tim Yelverton have worked really hard on in her putting. That's why it's improved this week. One of the best putting weeks she's had in a long time. Nope, just tugged it.
Well, and if anybody knows, with this threesome, what's, how things go in terms of pressure coming down the stretch, it's Danielle Kang. You think about Drive On and what happened with Celine Boudier at the end and letting Danielle take the title there. And then again at Marathon the following week, Lydia Ko goes ahead and kind of hands it to Danielle.
Look at this reaction. You think she doesn't want to get it done out there?
Yeah, that's what experience, that's what it takes. That's what makes elite players elites, that drive to be the best.
Well, they know.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt in her mind. She knows.
All right, nice par for Bianca. I think the key for Ally is to kind of not get ahead of herself, and Danielle Kang to stay aggressive. Keep that roll going. Made that nice birdie at 11 and 13. She knows what it takes to win. I think that's a big key. You kind of go back on it. Things you've done, the feelings you have when you're trying to win. You put the time in. You just got to trust your game. Area for birdie now at 15. Beautiful putt there. It's only the 6th birdie today on this hole. Very difficult hole. Been the hardest hole all week, hardest hole today.
Looking from above at the 14th hole, they've stuck the flag today over on the right side. The bunker and the water to some extent in play. Shouldn't be in play, should it, Lake Oconee? But it certainly adds some excitement to the proceedings with where they've cut the holes.